Alright, imagine this for a second. You're a giant anaconda, the biggest, baddest snake in the jungle, slithering through the Amazon River like it's your personal runway. You're all muscle, no fuss, and you can easily take down prey the size of a deer. Sounds like the dream life, right? Well, hold on to that thought, because the reality of being a giant anaconda might not be all it's cracked up to be. Sure, you're a huge deal, but there's a lot of pressure and responsibility that comes with being the world's largest snake. In fact, being born a giant anaconda is more like being the new kid in school who has to sit at the front of the class every day. Today, we're going to dive into why being born a giant anaconda isn't all sunshine and prey. Spoiler, it's a bit more slithery and stressful than you might think. Protection and vulnerability. Let's talk protection. You might think that being the largest snake around would make you invincible. But guess what? Being big isn't always a win. Sure, you can probably scare off a lot of creatures, except for jaguars. Ever seen a jaguar try to eat an anaconda? It's like watching someone try to take on a bear in a wrestling match. You might win, or you might get a few scratches. Even if you are the apex predator, there's always someone out there looking for a fight, whether it's rival anacondas or other predators eyeing you for dinner. Think of it like this. You're the biggest thing in the pool, but there's always that one shark just lurking beneath the surface, waiting for a chance to take a bite. Not to mention, if you've ever tried to hide underwater with a giant body, let me tell you, camouflage is not your friend. Foraging and feeding. Now, on to foraging and feeding. As a giant anaconda, your meals need to be big, and I mean really big. We're talking about capybaras, wild pigs, or maybe even a deer, you know, the kind of meals that would make a regular snake jealous. But here's the catch, finding that perfect meal is like looking for a needle in a haystack. If you're hungry and you're an anaconda, you've got two options. You can either wait forever for a snack to waddle by, or you can hunt, which is like trying to get a pizza delivery while avoiding every other snake, bird, or critter trying to steal your food. Ever tried to find a meal when you're, well, as long as a small bus? It's like going to a buffet and trying to fit all your food onto a single plate. Not to mention, your prey usually has the same idea. They know you're coming for them. Talk about an intense game of hide-and-seek. Guidance and survival. Speaking of survival, life as a young anaconda is like being in kindergarten, except there's no snack time. Right after birth, baby anacondas have to figure out how to survive immediately, no training wheels here. They can't exactly pop into a snake support group and say, hey, how do I catch a deer? No, they're just thrust into the wild, figuring it out as they go. And let me tell you, there's no snake school to teach them how to avoid becoming lunch for a jaguar. And guess what? As they grow, the pressure only intensifies. Sure, you're the biggest snake in the river, but the challenge is how to use that massive body in a way that's effective. It's like being the biggest guy in the gym, but not knowing how to lift the weights. You're strong, but you've got to learn how to use that power, or you're just a snake with a lot of muscle and not much else. Talk about snake identity crisis. Frequent confrontations. Now, let's talk confrontations. If you thought being a giant anaconda would mean you get to lounge around all day like you own the place, think again. You've got rivals, other anacondas, caimans, and even jaguars who think they should be the ones in charge. Picture this, you and another anaconda fighting over the same patch of river. It's not a polite game of rock paper scissors. No, it's more like the ultimate wrestling match, but without the fun commentary. And what happens if you lose a fight? You don't just walk away, you might end up hiding in the shadows or slinking away into the swamp. Trust me, it's no fun when you realize being a giant means you've got a giant target on your back. Conclusion. So, there you have it. While being born a giant anaconda might seem like a dream job, it comes with a heap of responsibilities and challenges that would make anyone second-guess their decision to be born giant. From the constant dangers of rival predators, the pressure to find food, and dealing with daily confrontations, life as an anaconda isn't exactly a luxurious one. But here's the thing, the anaconda survives, not because it's the biggest, but because it's one of the most resilient creatures out there. So next time you find yourself wishing you were a giant anaconda, just remember, you've got to be tough to handle the slithery side of life. And when you're a giant snake, it's not just about size, it's about learning to adapt, survive, and make sure you're the last one standing. So, embrace that anaconda hustle, folks, because in the wild, size doesn't always win, but resilience always does. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, let us know your thoughts. Would you trade lives with a giant anaconda, or do you prefer your human experience?